Welcome back to Tyranny. Let's explore Halfgate properly now and see what kind of mischief
Anything
we can
for
get into.
to kills in shadow.
Doesn't look like there's anything here, but these dangling ropes served as a last desperate attempt to keep homes together following the collapse. The aftershocks proved to be too much for makeshift supports. Well, fear not, good citizens of the Stone Sea. I am going to end this edict, as I have ended 2 edicts previous. Grayson! Ah, welcome, traveler. I've seen so many new faces recently, it's getting hard to keep track of all of you. Seems every other day we get new scavengers or artifact hunters, or just completely odd folks coming through these parts. Almost unsettling, if you ask me. His eyes linger on Kills in shadow for a moment and he sniffs, his face taking a sour look. And if it isn't one type, it's another. He looks back at you and smiles again, although it doesn't quite reach his eyes. Better not be saying nothing bad about one of my companions, because I'll take that personally. I mean, I get along with them all, but they're still my companions. And if anybody's going to insult them, it's going to be me. What is other type? Stronger than pathetic human type? She scratches her scarred, hairy teeth and grins to show grace in her fangs. Ever notice it's the little masted men that bicker most about harpoon size? I often assume that boys most quick to put down beasts are, more often than not, furtively obsessed with the primal and the hirsute. Is there anything I can do to help you? Any information you need about the area? What do you know about the spiders in the Stone Sea? Yes, that is what ending the edict one thing, but that's what most interests me in here. Deep in the heart of Beastman territory, there's one. Those are dangerous parts. You best be watching your back out there. He nods solemnly before continuing. The other is surrounded by those rock worshippers where that colossus of stone finally collapsed. Ah, yes. I'll ask the question anyway, but I'm sure he means that Archon. How was his name? Yeah, that giant of an Archon. He keeps moaning and groaning as he made his way across the land. Left destruction in his wake and riled up the beastmen something fierce. Believe he fell near the Dawn Spire? He gives his head a scratch, pondering the situation. Some of the vendors here in town can tell you more. I know they've had some dealings with the scavengers from the areas. Alright, so there might actually be vendors that have something to sell for me. Tell me more about Halfgate. Well, let's see. It used to be called Plainsgate until Karen came traipsing through and Fatebinder Callio cast the Edict of Stone on him, destroying thousands of lives in the process. He purses his lips. But you can't win a war without casualties. At least that's what we're told. Even after, we keep getting hit hard by the earthquakes. We've lost a lot of people and possessions, but other areas were hit even harder during the edict. Guess you could say we were in the eye of the storm. The whole of Azure suffers so that Karen may be slapped down for disloyalty. I ever wonder if right now, far away, Kairos is getting off to the thought of all this indiscriminate killing? Seems like the Overlord must have a thing for it. No matter what happens, you have to keep a positive outlook because it could have been far worse. Things can always be worse, Fatebinder. Tell me what you know about Karen. What is there to say other than he has ruined our lives? We are beset with earthquakes and we've lost so many friends because of them. After the destruction here, he headed out into the Stone Sea, and that's where he still lies. His body turned to stone, and the story is he's trapped. That's what is causing the earthquakes. His ongoing death throes are tearing our land apart. Those damn disfavored won't let him die, so we're the ones stuck suffering. You know how I can find Karen's body? I hear it's a place called Howling Rock, but I'm no adventurer. My entire life is here in town, so I wouldn't even know where to begin regarding how to get there. Best I can offer is to tell you to keep asking around town. Someone is bound to know more than I do. How has Karen's passing affected the settlers of this town? Townsfolk have taken to joining scavenging crews and heading into the Stone Sea to search for artifacts and other treasures. Problem is, the Stone Sea is full of dangers, and those scavengers put their lives in danger each time they leave the settlement. Why would I want to help the scavengers? I mean, I don't really care, they can scavenge, but I don't particularly want to help them. I'm like indifferent towards the scavengers. Scavenge at your own risk. You know? What are the Scarlet Corps doing here? All I know is they've come in promising to help us with the Beastmen and telling everyone they'll take care of the earthquakes. I don't know if they're telling the truth or not, but if they can take all those beasts away, I'm willing to give them all the help they want. You see this favor in the area. I've not seen them personally, but I've heard that they're set up around Karen's body at Howling Rock. No one in town wants them around. Everyone here blames them for the ongoing earthquakes. Well, seems like we have a dispute going on here. Or back away from the Beastmen and stop throwing stones or I'll stop throwing back. Left-Paw. This Beastman is shackled and cannot move. The Beastman lies bound and unable to move. As you approach, you take a good look at the area where the townspeople have chained the Beastman, brutally and on display like some kind of public attraction. He watches his tormentors, visibly exhausted and weary, battered and bloodied and stinking of urine and old meat. The Beastman snarls and snaps at you, drooling tiredly as he strains against his bonds. His eyes are wide with fear, but his limbs droop tiredly and his whole body trembles. Back away, or lose both life and limb. Left-Paw still has killing teeth, can still maim. Human. Listen, I might be able to help you. Not sure I want to, but you might want to change that tone. I've bested Beastmen in the past. I could put you down just as easily as I could help you. Hush and lie still. Do not snap star at Alpha if Beastman wants to be free. Beastman cries and jerks, relief flooding him at the sight of his kith. Kills in shadow, he yelps. Left-Paw hoped Pack Alpha would come. Please help Beastman. Oh, so they know each other? They're from the same pack. Well, then I'm a little more obliged to help them. The Beast Woman growls a deep rumbled warning. Has Beastman forgotten how to listen? When to obey, said be quiet. Stop useless whimpering. Kills in shadow is no longer Alpha to Pack. She glances to you, obviously worried about the captive Beastman despite her ruthless show of bravado. Beast Woman follows fate by her now. I mean, this question seems rhetorical. Obviously they know each other. Calm down and tell us what happened. Humans claim Beastman killed settlers, but Beastman has only hunted brown boar. Stone Stalkers don't eat meat from humans, tell settlers. Growls, angry and afraid. Left-Paw is good hunter, tracked boar for tribe, but got bit by iron maw near ridged human den. Bled and bled, that would have to rip through leg. Then sun woke and humans came, howling threats. Also, there's missing settlers. I probably should have talked to the people in front first, but I'm going to assume they would have told me there's missing settlers and they are holding Left-Paw responsible. The settlers are convinced, but I'm willing to consider all sides in this matter. I am a judge, after all. The beastman's eyes dart between you and the crowd. Yes, Left-Paw speaks true. Perhaps human will free beastman. Perhaps. What fate has human decided? Before I make a decision, I'd like to hear more evidence on the matter. Proof? Proof of beastman's mistake? Of beastman's shame? Of being caught like prey? Left-Paw cannot show boar's carcass to human. Rot-smelling chorus pack burned carcass to earth, blood, and ash. But human can see where trap gnawed into Left-Paw's ankle, yes? Can see how beastman was tricked. He's a beast, and he was caught, coated in blood. What more evidence of guilt could you need? Besides, it was the chorus that dragged him in. They saw his guilt firsthand. Was it now? He juts his chin up and thought, I think I recall that it was a few of mine who first found the beast. Saw him gorging on a villager. Of course, they had to burn the body. Pay their respects, How many villagers have disappeared within the last span? Were any bones found from their bodies? Who doesn't disappear these days? We've lost so many I can't scarcely keep count. Scavengers set for the valley but never return. Even the skilled ones like Dracod have surely been eaten. All you have is hearsay on either side. She pales and stumbles a step backward, but her body in the raucous crowd behind her jostles her forward. What do you mean to say, Figmon? Of course you're the authority on the matter. With Lord Tunan's power, you can see to the truth of things, even hidden ones. I know I've heard the northern stories. Alpha will support Bolverk's wishes. Who's Bolverk? She growls menacingly at the crowd. We'll help Beastwoman and Beastman to survive. The Beastman's broad chest heaves as his fear ratchets up, and he pants rapidly, struggling to breathe. What will human do with Left-Paw? Either free Beastman or end Beastman's suffering? Speak more with the crowd. I need more evidence, or speak to more people. Beast was to go to the chorus, but now things have gotten out of hand. Well, that's the reason. That's the direction I'm leaning in. Hang the mangy beast. Alright, let me take a walk around town. I'll come back to this and make a decision later. Right now, I don't have enough information. It's basically one person's word against another, so it's kind of hard for me to make a fair judgment about more evidence. A home lays flattened by the quake that shattered Halfgate. The majority of the structures here stood no chance against the strength of the tremors. Grayson, do you know anything about this matter? There you go. What can you tell me about the captured beastman? Grayson grimaces, shaking his head. Ah yes, the animal they caught outside the village. Can't wait for that unpleasantness to be dealt with. Covered in blood, lurking about, no doubt to hunt more settlers. Mangled himself in a trap outside the gates. Don't know why the chorus brought him in. Just wipe the beasts out or drive them away, that's what I say. Kills in shadows, snarls and gnashes her fangs. Left-Paw would not kill humans unless humans wouldn't kill him. So what warrants killing humans, by the way? The beast woman pauses to think. She scratches her claws through the top of her thick, matted mane. If bad humans, if first attack beastmen, if smell strange or smell good, if loud and annoying, if look needy enough, lost or won't be missed. She grins, mauve tongue peeking between her front teeth. Stone stalkers don't eat humans, but kills in shadow makes no similar promises. You see? These murdering beasts enjoy hunting humans. There's nothing deeper to it. You didn't actually see him kill anyone. Why are you so quick to assume he's guilty? An animal does what an animal does. If there's something to kill, they will kill it. It's a simple matter of nature. I hear rumors you're judging the matter. If you're of a mind to set the beast free, best do it far from here. If we see him outside the town, we won't hesitate to kill him. Okay. Fatebinder, I request your formal education in these procedures. Surely I'll lose my life if you don't intercede. The 30 refugee kneels, head bowed and greasy hair flung forward as he begs. Shut your fribbing mouth, mummer. Fatebinder doesn't want to hear from a reeking shitcake worm like you. The young man lifts his face in a defiant glare. He's indeed filthy and stinking, his lips dry and cracked, his skin blistered and mud-streaked and peeling, but his frame is slight, his posture rigid, and his hands are remarkably smooth, uncalloused. I will not hold my peace. We have rights under Kairos' peace. The woman rears the blunt edge of her sword for strike. Two burly, equally dirty refugees rush forward to defend the slighter man, but he stays them with a single raised hand, instead taking the blow harshly across his face. His head whips to the side and grimaces, spitting blood before he speaks again. Fatebinder, please. Let him speak. She shrugs as she wipes the flat of her blade clean. She sheaves it with an easy, gliding swing and kicks back on her heels. I tried to spare you. It's not entirely clear if her warning is meant for you or the still kneeling refugee. It better be not meant for me, because I don't deal with threats very well. The man doesn't wait to find out. His words tumble out rapidly, spurred by both his eagerness and fear, now that he's garnered the full weight of your attention. It's true we're displaced tearsmen. We've managed some semblance of survival living in Azure's ruins after the edict. He clenches his fists in the folds of his tattered robes, the discolored remnants of azure silk to hide his shaking fingers. This gentlewoman and her compatriot in the chorus found us, but we did not resist. We surrendered forthwith and pledged ourselves to Tuna. Don't let them swindle you. The Weasley pricks just want us to ship them along. They know we don't have the manpower nor the resources to send them up the supply routes to Bastard City, so they're hoping to slip off. She widens her stance and tips her chin boldly, standing behind her decision. If they won't pledge themselves to the voices, we've no use for them. You're awfully well spoken for a commoner. You're also quite educated regarding Kyrus's laws. Indeed I am. He licks his dried lips and glances off to the side, considering. He chooses his next words cautiously. My attendants and I can be of service to the courts. My intellect would not be wasted. I could bring you a wealth of knowledge regarding Azure's history and customs, her magic and laws, her royal line. Your robes are faded but deeply blue, your hair dirty but blonde. Your hands have never worked tool nor weapon, something you want to show me before I make my final ruling. For a moment, the young man says nothing. His attendants protest in hairy, hushed voices, but again he waves them off. Wondering if I've this, he asks finally as he dips 2 fingers behind the collar of his robe and reveals a glimpse of the gnarled, scarred insignia beneath his clavicle. It's the mark of an Azure Royal. The Horde guard leans closer, face scrunched curiously. What's that? It's nothing for you to concern yourself with. She scowls, irked at being shut out, but she's quick to dismiss it, kicking back once more on her heels. Shh, fine, keep your secrets. Who could fathom what goes on in the head of a fate binder anyhow? A loyalty brand? Eb's question is quiet, her voice muted. A few years back, this fellow was probably a well-to-do figure in the Azure Royal Court, and now he's here. A long way to fall. The refugee nods and swallows hard. Then please, do not leave me wanting in torturous wait. What is to be my fate? Serve the refugees to Bastard City to serve within the courts. They've pledged themselves to Tuna and thus have a right to live under Kyrus's peace. I think that's the best way to go. Chorus aren't going to be too happy with me, but obviously this guy does have information, very likely information, things that can help out Tunan's court. I don't think he'd be all that well suited as a member of the chorus. I think his skills would be mostly wasted. I mean, I'm sure Narak could get a little bit out of him before he stuck his head on a pike, but I think his talents would be more well suited to the court of Bastard City. Thank you, Fate Binder. The refugee buries his face in his hands, shoulders trembling with his overwhelming relief. He won't regret this. The guard shakes her head, incredulous. As long as it's no skin off my back, I mean that. It won't be my life or theirs. They escape. I'll be sure to let everyone know it was a fate finder who turned them loose. Yeah, you do that. Nirek! Stumpfoot puffs out his chest. You've been pushing into my territory. It stops now. Get out. And the only thing you'll be pushing is your guts back inside the slit I opened across your belly. The gang boss raises an unconcerned glance, and still he keeps talking. Why do you think I've been able to encroach this far? You're all chatter, Stumpy. Your gang deserves a leader with a spine. She draws a sharp blade as she talks. Let's let them continue without me interfering for a little bit. Now they notice me. Fate Binder! Stumpfoot waves you over. Just the kind of unbiased opinion we need in this situation. This fetid fish tit keeps hedging my turf, angling to filch my conscripts. Push her from the stone sea, and I'll sing your praises to their voices, quick as you please. She glances from Stumpfoot to you. So, you're too afraid to fight me now that little Nirek's showing some grit, are you? To think you of all goitered shit-lickers would drag the authorities into it. Typical coward. You can't even stop yourself from proving my point. Alright, so I kind of have to choose a side or attack them both. I'm kind of on the side of Nirek here. The chorus way is the way of might. You take what you can. And if you can't hold on to it, that's just how it is. I mean, that is, so, yeah. She's right. You're a dead man, Stumpfoot. He blinks at you. I'm sorry, what? Fate Binder, I asked you to intercede, not to turn on me the first chance you got. You asked for justice. I find you too weak to lead. The gang boss chuckles to herself. That's some terrific work, Stumpy. Thanks for delivering me your death on a bronze platter. I wish I had more enemies like you. Stop laughing at me! Letting out a roar of fury, Stumpfoot pounces. Oh good, I get to test out my new abilities. Let's get some electric jolt going. Not electric jolt. I need to, I gotta put them on here. I'll rearrange this later. There we go. Formation.
Nope, solid.
Ah, too far away. Oh well. I thought they were going to charge further, but Verse got there quicker. Ah well.
Got it.
I figured the chorus would like that. I mean, that is their law. That is, they just go by might. And it's like, well, if you want another gang boss's territory, you just take it. And either they put up a fight and stop you, or, you know, the strong survive and thrive, the weak die. That was the Scarlet Chorus way. Who am I to go against that? must be my lucky day. The Crimson Spear cocks her helm-hidden face to the side, studying you curiously. The name's Misery. You do well to remember it, Fatebinder, as this little town belongs to me. And by little, I mean what's left of it after your friend had her way with this place. She lets out a harsh, barking laugh. Not that I'm complaining. Pure destruction really gets my blood going. But enough about that. Let's get to the point. What do you want? Narat grows impatient that you have not yet killed Cairn. While you dawdle and fail, our army continues to starve. Does he now? She cocks her head to one side, whole body primed and ready for a fight near instantly as she eases into a battle stance, spear drawn faster than the blink of an eye. She holds her stance, violence barely contained as she waits for your cue for how the exchange is going to progress. Going to say the voices wants a word with me in his tent, are you? If that were the case, I would not be here to ensure the hastening of your success. Heh, you got a funny way of saying that you're here to help me. She shrugs and drops her spear into a sheath on her back, but she crosses her arms as she regards you, ever wary of an attack. Don't fret, I know better than to fail the voices. I've had my gangs combing the sea more than 4 spans now without sleep. We're close to finding that moaning muck pile. Where does the intel point us? Word from the locals says Cairn was headed for a spire when he crumbled. We've already checked the one at Gulf Glow, so it's got to be the place the beastmen call Howling Rock. Only it isn't so easy as keeping an eye on the sky and marching straight ahead. Got a few hundred chasms in it, and double a dozen disfavored separating Halfgate from the Howling Rock. I presume the beastmen have refused to lead you to Howling Rock. Right on the mark you are. They've been less than welcoming ever since we hunted a herd of them during the fall of Azure. We've had to stoop to less than upstanding methods. Sweet. Open the new place. I've sent my right-hand man, Octave, with a slew of Furies to recruit or kill the Stone Stalkers at the heart of their den in Stone Down. They know where Cairn is, so I'm saying they'll either help us or get out of my damn way permanently. I'm kind of in agreement with you there. Go and join him, if only to make sure he doesn't swive this up. Brutally efficient. I approve. I do so aim to please. She gives a mock bow, flourishing her gauntleted arms wide before you. I like you, Fatebinder. See? We have an understanding now. But screw me on this, and I'll make sure the voices eats you whole. That's fine. I'm not here to screw anybody unless you're too weak to do this. Shut your hole, Misery. He only does that to people he admires. That puts you in the clear. She sneers at the other woman and pumps her spear in both threatening and clearly vulgar matter. I could put a hole in your throat faster than you could squeak. Sure, it might kill me, but it sure as shit would kill you. I mean, that is the situation here. Do not threaten Beast Woman's packmate, Kills in Shadow glowers. She shrugs, but is a little too eager to back off after her show when given the chance. Beastman giving you problems here in the stone seat. That's a matter of perspective, she laughs, hearty and deep. I'm who's given the problems. She hawks phlegm through the narrow mouth slit in her mask, leaving a trail of spittle dribbling down her bronze chin. They kill us, we hunt them for their added strength to the chorus, or just for their skins. Makes no mind to me. Bottom line is, we need them to find Karen. Can you tell me about Left-Paw? Come again. She stares you down from the impregnable wall of her mask, but after a moment twitches a glance towards the raucous of the town square, betraying her ruse. Who? Do not play coy with me. Alright, you got me. Kairos only knows why. He's been single-mindedly hunting disfavored throughout the sea. He's damn good at it, too. So we set a trap for him. Figured we could force him into our ranks. Only the situation's gotten messy. Left-Claw is good whelp. Hunts ironclads for kills in shadow. Hunts for revenge. The Beast Woman says she trained him. Sounds like. Now that's interesting. My gang helped drag him in a couple days ago. The townsfolk are clamoring to skin him alive, but if I let that happen, it'd be a waste of an asset. Left-Claw is fast, fierce hunter, should not be treated like prey. She sniffs, her expression dark as she regards Misery. Chorus claims to help Left-Claw, but smells of lies. Honeyclaw, we're the only ones around here who don't want to skin that beast alive. Of course, we'd happily free him, but with such a crowd at his throat, there's only so much we can do. We're not going to turn the whole of Halfgate against us for the sake of the beast. Don't worry, I won't let them kill Left-Paw. Beastwoman grunts her understanding. She watches Misery with a predatory, bloodthirsting gaze, saying nothing further, trusting you with the situation. Well, now that I know that Left-Claw is indeed not guilty, I mean, I've pretty much made my decision. I'm going to set Left-Claw free. Now, it's not purely out of some kind of good-heartedness or anything. It seems like the smartest thing to do. Sure, I could have Left-Claw sent to the chorus to help gain the chorus strength, but we're talking about one beastman. What he freaking do? I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I think the smarter thing to do is to let Left-Claw go. And maybe that will serve me in the future when I run into the pack of the Stone Skins proper and speak with their leader. Maybe I'll be able to work out an agreement without having to slaughter all of them. Maybe I can then convince them that I'm not here to hurt them. I can broker a peace, get the information I need, and finish all this without more bloodshed than is necessary. And in doing so, I can then maybe get the Beastmen to my side. Not the Scarlet Horse's side, my side. Because I think eventually, after I've dealt with the disfavored, I may need to deal with the Scarlet Chorus too, if the opportunity arises. So I don't want to strengthen the Scarlet Chorus too much. I want to strengthen them enough so we can finish off the disfavored. But eventually, I may need to finish them off too, so no need to arm them with too many weapons. I may want some weapons for myself. Misery shrugs, seemingly utterly unconcerned, but she noticed that during the exchange she had moved her hand to rest on the hilt of a sheathed spear. I've heard all I need to know. Then I've said all I need to say. How are our chorus operations running in the region? Our efforts to shore up recruits are going better than expected here in Halfgate. Our efforts to discredit the disfavored are just ramping up near the Greystone. It's our efforts to locate Cairn that have been the most troublesome. It seems plenty of course answer to you here, but who do you answer to? Maybe you haven't noticed, but I'm a Crimson Spear, rank earned with treachery and blood. I answer to the voices, and none other. Fair enough. Got a problem with that? You can take it up with Arbella. My spear, she jiggles her imposing weapon in the holster, proud. You wouldn't be the first Fatebinder it's tasted. You claiming to have fought a Fatebinder and lived. Wouldn't be standing here to brag about it if I hadn't survived, now would I? Impressed? She cracks her neck, the snap loud and unnerving, though she hardly seems to notice. Next time you see Nunavut, tell him Misery sends her regard. I mean, I'm mildly impressed, but don't get too high and mighty, Misery. Not all Fatebinders are cut from the same cloth. Not all of them are as strong as I am. Beastwoman also met human named Nunavut. She chuffs and snorts, amused. Misery juts her chin, impressed. Seems the Fatebinder of War has a better survival rate than even the Disfavor's elite. Would like to know how he heals his wounds and why he's so shit at avoiding them to start with. She laughs, a choking, rough sound. Well, she titters, trembling with excitement at the thought. Well, it's not like he didn't leave his mark as well. How hard? I'm not going to ask this question because it seems like a stupid question. I mean, the advantages are obvious. Information, people to recruit from, structures already here that they can use for shelter. Why wouldn't you garrison Halfgate? How hard was it to take control of the town? Couldn't have been easier. The people here are scared and vulnerable, and that's a winning combination. Move in, make promises, and stretch the truth. People will treat you like saviors from a problem that doesn't really exist. In this case, it helped that there actually is a problem we can make them think we're going to help them with. That just made it easier to sweep in and grab control. Was it always the plan to take control of this settlement? Doesn't the voices tell you anything? Of course we plan to take Halfgate. After the breakdown in Vendrian's well, she waves her hand slyly. We could never openly defy Kairos' will. How'd you get your name? I'm not really of mind to talk about it, least of which to a Fatebinder of Tunai. Oh, we're running with the courts. Just like a Fatebinder to always be sniffing around. You must know, I joined with the chorus back before they invaded the Tears. And wherever I went, Misery followed. She looks down at the ground in recollection. I ditched home for the biggest army Kairos had and landed myself in one of the toughest gangs. Of course, when we tore through my homeland, both my parents and siblings took up arms. The rat trusted me with their execution. Now I'm here, ruling this pile of rubble, and they're just bones under the ground. Her bronze visage stares coldly back. Story time's over. Oh. Alright, now that I've made my decision, well, let me speak to Sarah first, but I pretty much made my decision on Left-Paw. Warm regards, Master Fatebinder. How do you do? I haven't seen many folks the likes of you around here. Then again, most of the folks I've been bumping into lately are the Scarlet Chorus. They're not the likes of anything but rotten. Anything I can do for a nice lady like you? What can you tell me about the Scarlet Chorus presence here? Only that they've been mucking about, stirring up trouble for weeks, trying to conscript a lot of us. Wish they'd scurry on. Us gentlefolks don't like their methods, Master Fatebinder. Granted, some prefer the company of the chorus to the disfavored. I don't blame them. If all the chorus wanted was to save the land, as they proclaim, I'd be happy to aid them too. But the way they're seeking to swell their ranks, I think they've got another agenda. And that would be, everyone knows there's Earthshakers camped at Howling Rock. Whatever they're tinkering with there, the Scarlet Chorus want to stop it. Or maybe they just want to cause bloodshed. Either way, they need bodies for an attack, wouldn't they? What can you tell me about the Disfavored's operation at Howling Rock? A group of Disfavored entrenched themselves at Howling Rock not long ago. Damn Earthshakers won't leave no matter what we try. She sniffs primly, indignant at the remembrance. Whatever they're doing to that rumbling Archon, it's making the earthquakes worse. We'd be happy to be rid of them, if only to calm the land. That's what I'm here for. Say I want to help around the town. What can I do? Stopping the quakes would be a blessing, that's for sure. Don't guess you've any thoughts on how to do that, do you? The Scarlet Chorus say they got a plan, but I don't trust much in their intellect, collective or otherwise. What are your thoughts on the captured beastmen? Would you find them guilty? You bet your britches I would. Beast as guilty as they come. Look it, his fur still matted in the blood of his victims. The settlers, what went missing 2 weeks ago, no doubt. He reeks of it, the lives he stole. Some folks believe we ought to consider his side, but there ain't no point in it in this. Even if he ain't the one that did it, those beasts are a threat to our survival. I'd knot the noose myself were that time to come. But didn't those settlers disappear while scavenging the plains? Any number of things could have happened to them in such dangerous landscape. You think they fell or starved? No. The proof didn't lie. They got ripped apart by beastmen. Didn't they? I mean, that is, you don't really think he's innocent, do you? Goodness. I don't like the thought of letting him go. I certainly wouldn't be the one to oppose your authority in the situation, Master Fatebinder. You'll see that justice is served. I'm sure of it. Stopping the quakes. Oh, I meant the precipice. Alright, let's take care of this situation. I've talked with enough people. I've decided to free you and decree your innocence. Leave here, quickly. The settlers will kill you if you linger. Really? It's true? Game frack with two now? Really? I thought I made the correct decision. I mean, I have evidence that Left-Paw did not kill the settlers. He whimpers and quivers with gratitude, and for a moment, he turns a violent, bloodthirsty gaze on the crowd before him. Then it's gone. He's once more panting, harmless, eyes darting in search for the easiest escape route. Left-Paw won't forget help from human. Let's hope not. Let's hope it pays off. of that. Well then, we'll leave off here. Afterwards, next episode, we'll take a quick look around the rest of the town, and then head out and see if we can find that gang of beastmen and the disfavored out there. Take care of that Karen fellow. Maybe capture us some spires. Maybe make some allies. Maybe make some enemies. Who knows?